This is part 2 on how to do basic selecting. In this video we will talk about the quick selection tool, magic wand tool, how to use those tools to make multiple selections, how to save the selection, how to inverse the selection, and then finally how to arrive at something like this, where we've inserted another picture behind it so we can see through, or actually inserted a picture inside of those holes. Alright, let's get started. We'll click on the quick selection tool, but in order to reveal the magic wand tool, I'm holding down on my mouse and I'll let go on the magic wand. Alright, I want to select all of these holes so that we can achieve that effect, or to be able to see through into another image. And so the magic wand is one choice. And what you'll realize eventually is you have to use multiple selection tools to make a really good selection. If I click on this hole, the magic wand does a really good job, and its default setting is a tolerance of 32, so I want you to pay attention to 32. If I turn that down, let me go Control D for deselect. Remember, you can also select and choose deselect right here. There's also the option to reselect. If I turn this tolerance down to 10, it's not going to select all of the color. And here's why. Let me use the magnifying tool to reveal the reason. If I magnify in all the way down to the pixel level, so all of these little boxes are pixels. The more pixels in an image, the better the resolution is, the better detail you'll have in an image. The fewer pixels you have in an image, the lower your resolution. So when you're using a camera that has high resolution, you're getting more pixels in your image. So all these boxes are pixels. And when I click the magic wand in this area, it chose one of these pixels as its source. And if it had a tolerance of 32, it was willing to select all of the pixels around it that had a similar color. So either a variety or variation of 32 of the one that I clicked on, or when I changed it to 10, only was willing to select a variety of 10 that were closest to the pixel that I selected. So obviously there must be more than 10 different varieties or similar pixels to the one that I clicked on, and so 32 worked better. Let me zoom back out, and I'll go Control 0. Okay, so if I press 10, it's going to press 10 similarly colored pixels. If I change it to 32, it's going to grab more of that area. If I go higher, I'm not sure how high I can go without it spilling into the bench. Yep, it spilled right into the bench. And so maybe you can tell the magic wand is not a perfect tool. You'll have to find some middle ground with which number works best. 32 is not a bad one. I've used 22 very successfully, so it's something that you could play with. If the magic wand doesn't make good selections, then that tells you have to use a different selection method or a different selection tool. Alright, well, I'm going to add to my selections here. I am pressing the Shift key. When I do that, notice a little plus sign appears on the magic wand. Now look at it, didn't select all of the pixels that I needed. I could change the tolerance or keep clicking the magic wand. In this case it worked okay. It only took me 3 clicks to get my selection. Only twice there, so the magic wand is doing pretty well. 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. So now it's not working so well. That tells me that I might want to choose a different selection tool. Now I can subtract the selection. One way I could do that is click the rectangle marquee tool, press my Alt key down, pressing the Alt key, the Alt key next to your space bar, and wrapping a subtract around it using the rectangular marquee tool. That'll take away the selection. And I think I'm going to switch over now to the quick selection tool. The brush size matters. I don't want a brush that's going to be bigger than my area, because then the selection will spill over into the bench area. So I'm going to just try this. Now I see a mistake I'm making already. I am not in the correct layer. Holy cow. Always pay attention to which layer you're in. It's something that I will remind you, and I guess I need to remind myself. Always pay attention to which layer is active. All right, so back to where we were. I'll click on this area with the quick selection tool, and notice it does a nice job of wrapping into the area that I want. It does a nice job of noticing contrast. So this is a light area, and then the bench is a darker area. So the quick selection tool will do okay, especially with areas that have contrast. Whereas the magic wand tool does better with areas where the pixels have a similar color. So there's a distinction there. Okay, thanks for being patient with me. Not a terrific selection here, but for the sake of time, I'm going to keep going. And since this one took me so long to make, I'm going to save it. And I would recommend saving your selections, especially if you are going to try a lot of different things with it. As is the case with this bench area, I'm going to try a lot of different things with it. So I'm going to go to Select, Save Selection. Give it a name. Holes number 5. I've been doing a lot of practicing with this one and saved a lot of selections. So I'll just give it the name Holes 5. All right, now if I deselect, Control D, or go up to Select, Deselect, I could choose Reselect. That could save you. If you're not going to save your selection, you could go Reselect and get them back that way. But I'll show you the other way. Select, Load Selection, and I think I named it Holes 5. Click OK, get it back that way. So either save it or be aware that you have that reselect option as well. All right, I'm going to deselect. I'm going to create a copy of my background, Control J, and I'm just going to leave my background copies alone and use background copy 2 to work with. All right, now what if I reselect? It's still there. Awesome. Now I can do something called inverse. Right now I've got the circles selected, but what if I really wanted to have the bench selected and didn't want to do anything with the holes? I could go select inverse and notice that the marching ants change so that there's one line on the outside, and the area in between the outside and the circles is selected, which can be pretty useful. You could do something like this, create a new layer, use your brush tool, and I don't have to be very careful with my brush. It's only going to brush inside of my selection. So I could do something like that. Oh, I wanted to switch color. Yeah, who knows? I'm just being very experimental or just crazy with my ideas here. And I could do a blend mode. I could do overlay, so it overlays into it. You're always welcome to try the blend modes to see what they come up with. Luminosity, things like that. So there's a lot of things there that you can try. All right, I'm going to throw that away, and I'm going to select inverse again. Oh, you know what? Let me undo that. I should show you one other thing you can do. If you double click a layer, you get what's called layer styles, and you can do textures, you can do change the colors. If you double click on them, you can change the size. Here I can change the color of the stroke pattern and change the size of it. So there's all kinds of things you can do with layer styles that you need to explore for yourself. All right, I'm going to deselect, toss that, and actually reselect, go inverse. I just want the holes. All right, real quickly, getting another image to go inside of the selection, or just so we can see through. One thing I can do is go up to Edit And notice I have a paste and paste special. We're going to talk about that next. I have another picture open. I'll go Control A to select all, Control C to copy, which you should be familiar with. And if I go back here and go Control V to paste, that is not what I want. I'll do that. What I want to do instead is go Edit, Paste Special, Paste Into. Now paste into my circles. The picture of the lightning, the photo of the lightning is not very large, so I have to transform its size. To do that, go to Edit, Free Transform, or know this shortcut, Control T. And I can grab the sizing handle, and this is stretching that image to fit inside of my selections that I made. And you get something like that. So that's the paste into effect. I'm going to throw that away, create a new layer by going Control Shift N, or dragging my mouse to this button, click OK, and I'll put my layer underneath. Okay, and click on the top layer. I'm going to go reselect. Oh, it's not available. Load selection saves me because I saved it. I'll go to Holes 5, click OK. And I'm going to press backspace or delete, and now I can see through. I'll go Control D, I'll go to my empty layer, and this time I'll just do paste or Control V instead of paste special. Control T for transform. Remember, Edit Free Transform works. Stretch it, and you can use your Move tool. Apply. I should hit the check mark, so it's asking me, do I want to do it? I get something like that. What's nice here is I can apply a hue and saturation layer and match this color more with my bench and get something like that. So there's some ideas to use the Magic Wand Quick Selection tool. You can do the paste into effect, or you can cut through an image and put another image underneath. So give those things a try.